विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धे भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम। हरिओम नमस्ते सरोजिनी जी, डॉक्टर तन्वी जी, मनीषा जी, शारदा जी, अरविंद जी एंड राजीव जी, नमस्कार. So today I think for the first time I have got Hariom ji. So this is for the first time I have got an opportunity of sharing a real life experience of Damleji. He's got so many experiences. He's always kept it very quiet and not public. But since Sir has given me the permission, I have actually written down the experience which he had narrated. I had heard it in audio, then written it down. Then I have read it to him so that there is no mistake on my part, no extra what we can say interferences in that experience. So he has okayed it. So I'm looking forward to starting. We'll directly enter into the age of I think the 1973 and 74. That was the time of the experience. If for some reason the audio is breaking or you're not able to hear me, please tell me. I'll be I can just look at it. Otherwise, let us begin. If you have something to ask in between, you are always free. So let us begin. Experiencing nothing. I am one more thing. I am going to be reading it as if it is in first person. So that was what I thought would be better for the this experience. So it will be like Damleji is narrating it. Though I am just reading it out, it is his experience only. All right, Hariom. This incident is from many years ago. I am unable to recollect the exact year, maybe 1973, 74. During the time, I was touring the Konkan coast. My childhood friend, Manohar Kasture, had taken sannyas diksha and assumed the name of Swami Sevananda. He was a former second lieutenant in the armed forces before he took up this path, and his story too is an interesting one. Swami Sevananda was doing his sadhana at the kuti or hut of Tembe Swami in Rajapur, and he had kept an open invitation for me to visit his beautiful ashram. So I decided to reserve a day to meet him. During Hariom, I will just, I think it is Sarojini ji, is it? I'll just mute. Yeah, all right. Yes, I request everybody, you can, yes. So I will continue. So I decided to reserve a day to meet him during my Konkan tour. During those times, one had to walk long distances to travel in the remote areas that were not in the direct transportation grid. And I had with me my executive's briefcase and a trunk of my belongings that I carried along on my every marketing tour. So, when I boarded the bus to Rajapur and asked the driver if he could drop me there, he replied that he would only drop me at the base of the Tekadi or small hill and that I would have to travel from there by foot. As I was aware of this fact about the route, I boarded the bus and reached Rajapur right in the hot afternoon. And when I looked up, I saw that the Tekri was not really that small. There was not a soul in the sight, and the route was deserted. As per my nature, I decided, as I have come here to meet my friend, I should try to meet him and leave the rest to God's will. So, taking my belongings in my hand, I began to slowly move up the rocky road up the hill. As the trunk was quite heavy, I somehow managed to climb the road, continually interchanging the weights in my two hands. There was not a single passerby whom I could ask or question if I was going on the right path. Bracing the great uncertainty, I climbed up and was relieved to see a small residence at the base on the other side, and also a man who appeared to be a local, who appeared to be plucking jackfruit. So I asked him, Can you tell me where I can find Tembe Swami's hut? To which he replied that it was just nearby, and all I had to do was walk down to the hut near the base of the hill. He assured me that I will reach my desired location if I followed the route, and that I need not ask anyone about it, adding in jest that I was not really going to find anybody if I did feel like asking. I looked at my route ahead and then began slowly walking down the hill, this time adjusting my trunk's position in my hand, on my shoulders, and head. As I reached the base, I found a narrow road that seemed to lead to a place of inhabitation, and when I followed it, I reached the sanctum of a small temple adjoining what appeared to be the Samadhi, and all around there were only trees, exactly like the ancient Indian villages that are described in the Nathagatha. Yes, everybody is able to hear me, isn't it? If you want to interrupt, you can just let
Yes,
me
yes.
know. All right, Ji. Fine, I'll continue. The first thoughts that came in my mind, should I call out aloud for my childhood friend Manya, or should I call out to Swami Sevananda? As I smiled thinking of this, a young boy of 10 to 12 years of age came running up to me and asked, Kaka, what do you want? I replied, I have come in search of Tembe Swami's hut. He asked me whom I wished to see there, to which I replied immediately, Swami Sevananda. The boy anxiously replied, Oh no, he is not here now. He has gone for a sadhana to Garudeshwar. What to do now? Who are you? I told him that I was Swami Sevananda's childhood friend, to which he immediately responded with utmost respect, Kaka, please come. Let me go and call my mother, and disappeared. As I waited for around 15 minutes, holding my bags without having a glass of water and not knowing where to rest. Some time later, a motherly figure in her mid 40s appeared and greeted me very respectfully. I asked her, What should I do? Should I go back? She insisted, No, please wait. I have my two sons. They will help you. And she called for her other son, and the two brothers helped me take my baggage to the hut. She followed and told me to wait, as it was now going to be evening soon, and she would cook dinner for all. She said, You also join us. I asked her, Where's your home? I am unable to see it. To which she laughed and replied that it was quite far from here and it will take some time to walk there. So I never really went there and stayed in the place I was offered. I asked the boy if I could see his father so I could thank him, to which the boy replied that he had gone to work in another part of Konkan. I told him apologetically, I am sorry I caused so much trouble to all. He immediately denied it, saying, No, not at all, please stay here, directing me to my room. There were only two rooms, which were small but well built, with concrete walls and thatched roofing, adjacent to the Samadhi. I sat in my room and began having a light conversation with the children. They enjoyed it, and in the end, both exclaimed that they were very happy that I had visited there. The older one told me, Swamiji is a very important figure for us. He comes and stays here often, does his puja and sadhana here. I then recollected some childhood moments of fun that I had with Swamiji, and both children enjoyed. Then the children brought me dinner, which was mostly an assortment of various preparations of jackfruit. The children went home, and I sat in my room surrounded by a jungle and the cold winds and the mild drizzle that accompanied. I never eat too much, and this has been my habit since childhood. Being a wrestler and gymnast cultivated a discipline in eating, but the jackfruit preparations that I ate that night somehow had a diuretic effect on me, and I had to attend to nature's call many times in the night. The night passed in an otherwise uneventful and quiet manner, and the next morning the children came to meet me. Arrangements were made, and I had a good bath and meditated near the samadhi for a while. The children told me that they would take me to the spot, the tree under which Tembe Swami had meditated regularly during his earthly stay. Their mother had informed the kids that I would be interested in spiritual matters, and so they felt duty bound to show it to me. So, along with the kids, I again climbed up the hill via a different route this time. I enjoyed the ambience so much that I felt that it was indeed a divine blessing to be able to see such a place in life. When we came to the tree, I saw it was huge, and I did a namaskar and then meditated under the sacred tree for a while, and then decided to meditate for some more time from another spot from where I could see the samadhi of Tembe Swami. I found a large and stable rock which was facing the valley below and asked the kids before I climbed atop, "Can I meditate here for a while?" The elder one replied, "Kaka, it won't move, but please be careful." As I sat on the rock, keeping a foot's distance from its edge, and breathed in the beautiful sight of the valley below, I told the kids also to meditate for a while. And as I sat there, the younger one remarked, looking at me, I had tied a cotton cloth on my head like a turban. He said, "Our Swami Sevananda ji looks like Samartha Ramdas Swami, and you, his friend, look like Swami Vivekananda." And I found the comment to be very sweet and felt much love for both the children. I told them after a few minutes that I will now meditate. They told me to please go ahead and that they would pluck fresh karvanda berries, Carissa carandas, that grow in the jungle for me. On that day, I had not even specific intention of meditating too deep or reaching any particular state of dhyana or samadhi. But I don't know. I became very quiet in the sacred ambience and began to experience what I call a meditative silence. It was a dense quietude without any thoughts, and unlike what I had ever experienced before, and I was relishing it. I sat there for a good time, but I was not conscious of how much time passed. After a while, I heard some whisperings around one ear, and slowly I began to come out of that quietude. Soon, I heard some more whisperings around the other ear too, and I didn't understand what it was. When I opened my eyes, finally, I saw the sweet two children, one aged 10 and the other aged 12 years. They were sitting on either side, and they said, "Kaka, please get up and come slowly." And they held me as I got down from the rock. I didn't need the support, but I led them because I didn't quite understand the fear visible in the faces of the children. They asked me to sit down, and we sat down under the sacred tree where Tembe Swami had done his sadhana. And I asked the children, "When did you kids come?" The elder one spoke as the younger one watched quietly with a fear struck face. "We spent a lot of time gathering berries and came here long back," showing me half a kilo of berries that had been plucked. I asked, "What happened? Why are you looking so afraid?" He replied, "We came and called out many times to you, 'Kaka, are you done meditating? Can we go now?' But you never responded. So we came closer and we got a little worried. And as when we observed you, we saw that you were not breathing only. There was absolutely no movement that we could feel. And then both of us got very scared. We called out many times but didn't get any response. And then we tried to call you by touching you. You started breathing only after that. What happened to you?" I wondered what to tell the little children. I just told them it was nothing. I just meditated upon the divine. But there was no God, no light, no darkness. There was only nothingness. I got the experience of non existence. I then ate some of the karvan berries and slowly came back to Tembe Swami's hut. I ate lunch with the children, which they brought from their home, and then bid them adieu. I told them I will now go. There is no one else here and I have to go to work. They insisted that I stay for another day, but I refused as I had work to do. And then the children walked me back up the hill, after which I walked down back to the bus stop on my own. This experience of nothingness, I wish to share from this experience to the readers. You don't have to induce meditation rigidly. Meditation happens on its own accord. Many times we try to visualize and positively reinforce in our mind great people or specific figures of deities or the heavenly bodies like the sun, the moon, the stars, or certain symbols. And then we get certain experiences, which are basically perceptions of the meditator. But personally, I haven't been very successful in this type of approach. Though I have had my perceptions, I'm not keen to focus on my choices or preferences or let them influence my experience. I'll just mute. There's some distortion coming. Yeah, yes. I have found particularly useful this Ashtakshari mantra, the 8 syllable mantra that my father used to chant regularly post his retirement to be most beneficial for developing the right mental attitude during meditation. Hoila tasa hoila, which means whatever has to happen will happen. I have experienced that this is the best in letting go and creating a conducive state for letting the God grant whatever experience He deems fit. The experience that comes in this state of mind where you have left your own personality, your choices, and preferences behind is pure nothingness. In this state, nothing exists, but you experience that this feeling of nothingness is actually significant in itself. It is a quietude that is beyond the two ends, wherein both the positive and negative appear like the games of mind. This nothingness is actually something, and an absolute peace from within and without is its net consequence. I was 26 years old then when I got this experience. After the experience, I didn't think of it again or even try experiencing it by my own will, living all up to the divine will. I have safely kept this special experience that I got deep within me and I have shared it with you now. Shri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says in verse 27 of the 6th Adhyaya on how a yogi must meditate. Prashanta manasam yenam yoginam sukhamuttamam upaiti shanta rajasam brahma bhutam kalmasham. A pure quietude devoid of any strong emotion is the gain of the seeker of the divine union. Attains he agnosis of the Brahma, the supreme realization, experiencing the infinite bliss of the soul's emancipation. So, Hari Om. So, this was the story, and maybe for a few minutes or a couple of minutes, can we try meditating? Yes, just for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and then we will open discussion. Dr. Tanviji is present, so Dr. Tanviji can take us ahead with the topic after that. So, just for a couple of minutes, let us meditate, and then you can also share your experience plus suggestions also to make it better if I get another chance in future. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Yes. So, any feedback before we go to the next part of our today's Gita talks? And this was my first experience of being able to share Damleji's experience. So I'm very happy about it. I'm grateful to Damleji for this opportunity.
Well, we are all grateful. We are all
Yeah.
grateful to Damleji for sharing such a
Ji,
wonderful
will touch
thing
base,
with
sir.
each one of us. It will surely enthuse us in the journey and help us go forward. There's no doubt I have about that. Thank you very much,
Thank you, sir.
Shushruji as well as Damleji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Shri
you very
Krishna Arpanam. Hari Om. Hari Om. So, so this experience of nothingness is something which is very nice because when I first started meditating, Damleji had told me to dhyan karo and sit in one place. My mind was chanchal, maybe more chanchal than Arjuna. And I asked him what to do. He said, "Ja acting karo." I was like, "What? Kam se kam acting karo is what he told me. I didn't really understand it. But afterwards, I think we don't have to bring or squeeze an experience, but instead get into it and probably experience it naturally. Yes, Payal ji was saying
It's
something.
like
Yes, ji,
fake
Dr.
it
Tanvi
till
ji.
you make it.
That's a nice statement. Yes,
Great. Thank you so much,
thank you ji.
Sushruti. Hari
Thank you ji.
Om.
Hari Om ji. Hari Om, Payal ji.
It was really engrossing, amazing. Yeah,
Yes.
I thank
eh,
to Miss Damleji
This
also and to you also.
I have never gone to this place, but because of Damleji's narration, I got the
Yes,
feeling that I have gone to Temeswami's kuti only. It
exactly,
is in
exactly.
Rajapur. It is in Rajapur. Maybe somebody can find out if they find out where it is exactly.
Where it is, sir?
In
You
that's
actually
Maharashtra.
took us
I
Ji,
felt
there.
like I am going today only to that place.
ji, ji.
Very narration is very beautiful, sir.
Ji, ji.
Mind
Thank you,
blowing.
ji. Thank you,
Uh,
ji. Just details what Damleji told, everything, including his carrying the suitcase and everything.
yeah.
I think he was actually in the what we can say. He was a gymnast also. He was a wrestler also, and he was in the theater also. So he knows exact aspects, all details. He's always been. He says keep importance on all of that. So yes, ji. So I think today's this was a very nice start. I will request Damliji to probably narrate something else so quickly before next week. I may have one more interesting story. And one thing about Damleji's Adhyatmic experiences, he believes in practical means he says practically experience. You have to experience it practically wherever, whatever you are talking about. Don't just go around in the mental plane. It must be what we can say prakatikaran or manifestation that must happen. So I will just look forward what because there are a lot of interesting experiences also. Some are funny, some are very deep, and I will just ask him and we'll see. So our topic today for Gita Talks, Dr. Tanviji has suggested it. So I would say you will be the best person to share about the topic. So then we will have a discussion. Yes, Dr. Tanviji.
Thank you, Shushruji. So this was the story you narrated was really very much, I really loved it.
Thank you,
And
ji.
may everybody have such an experience sometime in their life.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah. So, so taking with the mantra that Damleji's father told him, "Hoil tasa hoil." So, the topic for today, what we are going to discuss is nature of God's will, whether it is unchangeable or can it change depending on our actions and our choices. So, but with this phrase, "Hoil to sa hoil," that means everything is pre-decided. So uh,
Okay, that is interesting. You are giving a interpretation that it is pre-decided, but okay, so somewhere fate free will kind of question, isn't it?
yeah,
That the question is everything is it like the nature of God's will? Is it unchangeable or responsive to human actions? Means there is actually one beautiful experience of Damleji's Guruji. that is Pujya Nana Maharaj Teranikar. He had experience of Krishna and he had asked the same question to Krishna when he saw Krishna after Narmada Parikrama. He had asked this question. It was in Bruja Bhasha. एक बात एकांत में सुन लो जगदाधार हारे मारे कर्म तो प्रभु का क्या उपकार. If Tare Mare Karma, Tare means if my karma are going to take me ahead, then what's the role of your grace? And Krishna had smiled and disappeared. In that Gatha, in the story, he has not quickly answered. So that we will probably look at this question. So I think Dr. Tanviji has put a very nice question. Fate and free will. Is everything predestined? Or is there a human role? So anybody would like to share your inputs? Because this in the Gita it has been answered also. This has been answered. But anyone?
Yeah,
Yes.
actually in Gita when Krishna tells na Arjun, see when Arjun was like I is in a dilemma. So Krishna
Ah.
said whether you do it or not, this is all decided. People whom you're worrying, they will all die. The war is going to happen.
I
They
have
will go.
slain them already, he says, isn't it?
Yeah, so if
Nimitta
you don't
Matra.
do it, then I will finally do it. But
I'll find
it's
another Arjuna also.
as of another Arjun
You
also.
don't have too much ahankar. Instrument maybe a sword, but if ahankar comes in, the divine can discard the sword like a toothpick only. He has so many swords at disposal.
It's more like you are just a nimitta matra.
Nimitta
Just
matra.
a
So this
sword.
shows that the human role is becoming less and less and less, and this is towards that side where human role is not at all important. But Sarathi is driving somebody, isn't it, in the Gita?
Yeah.
So why is he driving
Yes.
if it's not important?
It's
Means
more about, I guess it's more about when we are in this world, like we have been, like we are in this world, and as individuals, we have our own duties. So, and the divine is directing us, helping us, and when we, as somebody said, na, that I asked God to give me courage and give me strength. He gave me challenges. He gave me what I call trouble, but they were actually. So it's more like we have to go to this ride, the journey, and that's our duty. And the divine is helping us in finding our ways. Sometimes like a teacher, and sometimes like a mother, sometimes like a
that is
caregiver.
beautiful. That is beautiful. Deepti ji has shared. There's a beautiful quote also. Thank you, God, for my difficulties and my challenges, because it is through them that I've found myself, my way, and even my God. Means that is also an approach. But Vijay ji is adding something to what Deepti ji shared. This is a very interesting topic that has been put in front of us. So let us see. Yes, Vijay ji. Yes, please.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I
Yes, ji.
really missed the first 20 minutes. Somehow I wasn't lucky today.
Oh,
Uh,
the recording is there, so we can share it definitely.
Thank you,
Ji.
Ji. When I heard this question, like whether it is predestined or saying the same question as Ji, I mean, Vishnuji must be knowing the way I always connect with Krishna is with fights. I always put him a
Yeah,
lot of
you
lot
fight
of
a
people in
lot
the
of
way.
fights with Krishna.
Absolutely. Like I used to fight with my father and then Krishna. There's nothing else. Language, my love language is fight with him. So, I mean, in my experience, I have experienced both in the sense when you see that it is predestined, it was like magic for me. And when you
Okay.
know you can search and you try and then get it, it was like, yeah, I am able to do it. What the right word that you use is manifestation. When Damleji said, go and find out, just find in your practical way of feeling, right? So that is what Krishna had told me many a times. And I also, but the starting point was predestined. That's what I felt because I was against everything that I've been right now doing, as Srishuddhi must be knowing. I was I mean, I love God, but I am damn against this kind of austerities, pujas, and everything, especially Ekadasis. My in laws used to do it so diligently,
I
but
remember
I used to raise
you
my
were
voice.
fasting. I remember I had come to Chennai and I was feeling very bad because how somebody can, while fasting, come outside and do other works also. But you were feeling very fresh that day. I was very surprised. I felt very guilty also that you had to travel on vrata. No, you did not. Vijayaji offered me coconut water and I had a very big dharma sankata that I am taking coconut water. She is not even taking that because her fast was very strict. So yes,
Absolutely, Ji.
I did not know about your previous anti about austerities that much. Now only I know about it. Ji.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, austerities was never my cup of tea, even now. But what
Ah,
I had is questions, why should one do Ekadasi so much when is there God really thinking, blah, blah, all those kind of questions. If everything is predestined. That's what I used to say. Why should I do this? He knows, no, let him do it. So that is when I got, I got a dream. I know this is magical, but I'm so lucky. I mean, I can be proud of it. That's the only thing that I have in my life.
Should
I
hold
got
on
my
to it.
Guruji's
We should.
dream. Please be,
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to be humble at this point because that's one magical moment that changed my life here forever. That was like April 3rd, like 2017, where I had the darshan of my Guru, Sri Kanchi Periva, in my dream, to tell the only one word he told me. See, Ekadasi is not for you, not only for you, but for the people around you. If you do it, it's good for the society. That's what he said. If you do it, it's good for the society. He never said me to do it or anything. You'll not believe that day was an Ekadasi. I was not here. I was outside India for some reason. And it was like cautioning, I don't know what. Somehow I woke up like full sweat morning 3 o'clock or something. And from that day, there was no looking back. The previous day, I mean, till April 16, I was like an acidity patient. I would say patient because at 8 o'clock I need to eat or else I'll go mad.
Okay.
So I have to take at least 4 meals a day. So it was that day. From that day, everything changed magically. Nothing, I don't get any answers, Shushruti. That's what I see it magical because I lost my
Yeah.
questions.
Okay. Okay. No, but I think that is the answer itself, isn't it? Mantra
I
Moolam
mean,
Guru Vakyam. So whether in the Pratyaksha or in the Surya Sthiti or Sushupti Sthiti or in the that state of consciousness and the
absolutely.
transformation happens, isn't it? And the coincidence that it happened on the day of Ekadashi.
Ekadashi itself was
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
And now these days when I write about Gita, I mean not me, when
yeah.
Krishna writes through
Ha,
me
ha.
about
So
Gita,
lovely.
like
Yes.
every time like it's a searching. I mean you must be knowing better. Every day, I mean you'll not believe the Sunday night would be so horrible for me. It's like every week I'm so much running. Can't you make me write a little early? Something.
Oh,
Every day it happens, every week it happens. But somehow when I read the sloka, I used to search for it. I used to think he'll make me put me in such a situation. Many of the scenarios I have gone through, and he has made me realize that. So every time when you go for search, I mean, in my case at least, when I search, he has never left me without answers. So it might be sometimes predestined. Even in one of my, I mean,
okay.
I would not say, I don't know how to say, he actually gave an opportunity, gives an opportunity for us to chase something or search something so that we will be able to manifest. But the whatever the whatever the grace that we get from Krishna is really predestined. That's what I feel. Once it
Okay.
is, then it is not like magically you will do everything. You will start searching. That is what my experience, at least, G.
Okay. So predestined, but somewhere human role is also it's not completely
Without human
going
role,
back
yeah,
to
he will not be able to. Yeah,
going
he will leave
going
you.
back
You can.
to going back to Dr. Tanviji's question to from Vijayji's answer is somewhere Vijayji and Deeptiji are on the same page that predestined divine's plans are there,
Can I say
but
something here?
some yeah, sure,
Yes,
Deeptiji. Yes.
just one thing. It was
Yeah.
related to what Vidyaji said na, about Ekadashi. That is, Guru said it's for the society. So I remember when I was in school. So my grandma used to say, today's Ekadashi will not have rice. So in our home, in all the Punjabi houses, they don't cook rice during the Ekadashi day. So I used to always question why not rice. We eat other grains. So my grandma used
Mm.
to always tell me, if we as a family don't eat this rice on this day, this will be going to somebody else. So we are helping the society in this way to save the food, and they like. So then when she said no, it's for the society, it just clicked. So I just wanted to share that. That's it. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Deeptiji.
Thank you, G. That was amazing.
Yes, Rajivji is adding something, or no, yes, Rajivji, and probably then back to Dr. Tanviji.
Yeah,
Yes,
I wanted to add.
Ji sir.
Number one is, I mean, while we are talking destiny, the Gita tells us, karmanye vadikaraste, ma phaleshu kadachan. To work is our right, and that we must execute. There is no doubt about it. But the central idea of the Bhagavad Gita is to realize your own self, and that self is nothing else but the Paramatma. So all these suggestions that are made in the Bhagavad Gita by the Lord when he says that this is what I am, actually. So there is a shloka which says, na kartutvam na karmani, lokasya srujati prabhuha, na karma phala sanyogam swabhavastu pravartate. That means I am not sitting here I mean, I do not take the kartutva from you, nor do I ensure that you get the fruit. All this is actually the swabhava,
In
which is
Prakriti.
the Prakruti, which is actually making it happen. Now,
Oh.
under the guise of Prakruti, which is avidya or whatever you call that, we as human beings are in a different fold altogether. So, being in the right attitude while performing, like by attitude, like if there is something which happens, what you wish, it has happened because of His grace. And if it does not happen according to what you wish, then also, I mean, you say that it is, I mean, that was also His wish because of which it has happened in this way. So it is an attitudinal state wherein you are not compromising on the effort in any situation. You do the
Okay.
best that you want and then leave it to Him. That is what
Okay.
I think.
So means हमाली करो और कुछ मत मांगो. Isn't it? Something like that. The that
Yeah,
has been taken off.
hamali karne ke liye,
हाँ.
actually, the Gita also tells us, like, Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu vaha parasparam bhavayantah shreya param vapsyata. That means when
They,
you are pleasing the gods and
they will.
giving the gods what they want exactly, the gods will please you in return. And that is the way both of you will actually
True.
foster each other and move
Okay.
ahead. So it is not just
Okay.
ki hamali karo.
Huh. Okay, yes. So I think now there's a beautiful quote in the ashram, Sherbindo ashram. It says, "He who chooses the divine is chosen by the divine, or he who seeks the divine is sought by the divine." Something like that. Meaning,
Exactly.
there's so many levels of consciousness which are at play behind the scene of things, where maybe we can at least at this moment we cannot fully like we see one is there is predeterminism of everything is destined, already predestined. Then there is an option of चलो ठीक है सब तो अब क्या है सब तो प्रीडेस्टिन्ड है, हमें थोड़ा करना पड़ता है, ड्यूटी है, ड्यूटी के नाम पे माम फलेषु कदाचन, let us do that. That is somewhere what we can say, it is I don't have a choice, it is a bondage of birth maybe. Or somewhere, like we have seen this bhajan of we say Anup Jalota, प्रभु को नियम बदलते देखा. Bhakta is saying, I have seen, experienced the changing of the rules. For whom? For me. How is this possible? How is it? What is happening? Look at Sri Rama taking bear from Shabri. Maryada Purushottama Sri Rama, who has been known for always, what we can say, having this very firm austerity. Here, nobody, even Lakshmana probably got angry when he saw that. What is this? What is she offering? But this niyam has been, probably if it is not broken, it has been bent, isn't it? Bhakti has come in. Patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam. It is okay. Give me a fruit, give me a flower, give me singular cup of water. That we give to anybody, and stranger also. But if you are offering with love, that is complete. So somewhere can we say that maybe? Ah, yeah, beautiful. Manisha ji has said, "Khud ko kar buland itna." That phrase everybody must know, isn't it?
Yes.
The second
Yes.
line. What is the second line to it? Manisha ji,
कर
yes.
बुलंद इतना
खुदा खुदा खुद बंदे से पूछे कि बोल
बोल दे
तेरी रजा क्या है.
रजा है क्या है, isn't it? So
Yes.
this buland karna, how can one make somebody? Now we'll just go with Manisha ji because one is predestined. Look, all the bhaktas don't bother at all. They say, दे दो सर जी, जो punishment देना है वो दो, जो what we can say, दर्शन देना हो दो, मत दो, जो आपकी इच्छा, मालिक आप हो, we don't worry. We don't ask anything also. Like Sri Aurobindo has said, to be a servant of God is good, to be a slave is better. Slave is like even that rights, no fighting ki this is my right, I must get adhikar, nahi, adhikar sab aapka hai. There is no question of adhikar, that is one option. But now we are looking at the human role. So this statement of Manisha ji, khud ko kar buland itna, that a moment can come in sadhana where one person's tapobala is also an important aspect. The strength.
वाल्मीकि Valmiki is a good example of that.
Yes. How do you feel Valmiki is a good example? If you would like to share, Deepti ji.
Because see, if we say it's destined, so he was
Ah,
what
okay.
yeah,
Ratnakar.
he was I mean a robber. I
Aha.
mean, he was a robber. And just when Narad said, okay, if you don't know how to call Ram, you say Mara Mara Mara. So his dedication was so much, and then he realized that. So he was just so his tapa was so strong that God changed his
Okay.
destiny from being a robber. He became
Okay.
what he was, Valmiki.
Okay. So something means Buland, you make yourself so strong. You
So
make
strong.
yourself so strong with your tapabala that maybe you are able to rewrite.
And maybe intention should be so pure
Mhm.
uh, that you will I mean, your destiny can change.
Okay, this is very interesting. This reminds me of one dialogue Damleji had shared about his friend. His friend was a few years elder to him, and that time his friend worked at in a lathe machine. And that generally people used to say, कुछ काम नहीं किया तो तुम्हें लेथ में काम करना पड़ेगा. That was like a punishment, and normally that was a very hard work for somebody who has just finished school and going there. But this person was very close to Damleji, and Damleji would often go to him. He said, "देख, इतना काम करो. You work so much, work so hard that your boss is going to be trapped by your work. Means you do so strong karma, so strong karma. It happens sometimes in corporate sector also. The team leader says, I don't like this. I don't like this person's t-shirt. I don't like this person's glasses. I don't like this person's attitude. I am not going to recommend this person at all in the board meeting. But this person's karma is so good that the board members only see ki, oh, this person has done very good work. And then the team leader also has to say, yes, yes, I have always been appreciating him. It's the karma, isn't it? Which is making him eat his words. Strong karma can probably. Pushpa ji is saying something, is it, Pushpa ji? No, is it? Hariom? All right. Vijay ji was adding something. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, when you spoke, I just remembered our Vidur. God
Vidur.
has to come down on his knees to ask his will and ask him to do that because he's so perfect, he's so good
Hmm.
at his work that even Krishna has to bow in front of him. I mean,
Okay.
in love, when
Yes,
you
yes.
know,
With love.
when
Yes, yes.
if,
Absolutely.
with love.
So,
So
means we can say this fate is one thing, and there's something called free will also, isn't it?
definitely, Ji. He would have
So
chosen
the
another ways too, but still,
ah,
he chose to be in the same poised line till his death. Even when Krishna came, he didn't change. Even when Krishna was not there, he didn't change.
okay. There's fate, then there's free will, then there's destiny, isn't it? Many people make fate equal to destiny. Can
Yeah,
we
I was
do that?
about to ask that. I was about to
Yes.
ask. Like generally,
Yes.
we use them as like replacement of each other.
Interchangeably,
Interchangeably. Yeah.
isn't it? Now the example that Dipti ji gave, me, the fate of the hunter Ratnakar is what? What is the fate in a village, in a forest? Sorry, to be a dacoit. Nothing more, isn't it? But but something happened which changed. Which changed, and suddenly in the most unlikely of places we got the great Maharshi Valmiki. What is this transformation? How is this transformation possible? We can say it is possible when the divine intervention takes place. All can be possible when the God touch is there. That is shared in those words. All is possible when the God touch is there, when the divine touch is there. So something is there, like Deeptiji, I think Manisha ji gave a beautiful one. With our tapobala, if we rise. Maybe, maybe destiny can also be rewritten. Fate is definitely one factor. Fate is a factor. It is there mentioned in the Gita also. We're not going to ignore. Some people say, no, I don't believe in fate. Arey, what is it? Whether you believe or not, I don't believe in the sun. I can say that to 100 people, but in the morning when I say good morning, it is because there is a sun, isn't it? That cannot be changed. That is a truth. So, like that, fate is a truth. Some things, this is last week we saw about death. Death is what? It is a human nature, isn't it? It's a part of life. It's a truth. Janma, mrityu,
Mm.
jara, vyadhi cannot be, you cannot escape it. But we can recognize it. So fate is one factor, but there is some free will also, which can allow us to alter destiny also. This is there in the 18th adhyaya. Anybody wants to add something? You are
Like
welcome.
sometimes we say,
Hmm.
कोई राजा से रंक बन गया और रंक से राजा.
Yes, 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 absolutely.
In the
No, no, no.
layman language, when we say that how our karmas define our fate or destiny, how our karmas define our destiny also. So
Yeah,
there's a story
yes.
also on that, that when there was a king and there was a Brahmin there. So he asked him that, okay, he knows everything. He says that life is all about all this. So then how can he challenge that thing? So then he called the Brahmin there, and the king said, "Okay, I want to ask you, what is your thought about life? You said Raja ko rang bana sakte hain, rang ko Raja bana sakte hain. What is your thought about that?" So he said, "You want my answer if I stand there, or you want you, because I am a Brahmin, will you not give me the respect of making you sit in a proper place?" So Raja gets out of his throne and says, "Okay, you sit there." So then Raja says, "Now you answer." He said, "Now my answer is this. Now you are standing there and I am at your seat." So your that moment, in a moment, you can, like, things can change, and it's because of the karma also, that it maybe I had some karma
One
that I
more
have done.
karma has also been added now. One more, it's like a khichdi of multiple factors. So, for destiny means now means a good destiny. What is a good destiny? Can we call it something like siddha or like in our Ayurvedic factory when we make a medicine, it is ready. We call it siddha. Tailam is ready. It is called siddha tailam. There are lakshanas for siddhi. Means siddha means accomplished. Means it has been made in a right manner. It has become correct as per our QC requirements. So maybe destiny, we can say, when we say destiny, can we equate it to a good destiny for consideration as our right now discussion? Like what we want. We want a favorable destiny only, isn't it? Each of us, nobody wants a horrible destiny, as like nobody says like that, ah, bel mujhe maar. Nobody wants that. So this,
Yes.
there is a fate, there is a free will, and there is a destiny. The question is how we can ensure that we get the right outcome, because there are factors in this Srishti, in this Prithvi, there are factors of Prakriti which are, we have seen Ashtada Prakriti is there, and then Krishna says this Ashtada Prakriti is also lower. There is something higher. And then it's like, are we fighting two powerful forces which there is no way we can even challenge them, or there is a way? Well, in the 18th adhyay, which is the adhyay of moksha, Krishna says, Rajiv, you want to say something? Yes, please.
Yeah, I wanted to say maybe something that you brought it
Yeah.
to this point of discussion.
Ha.
अधिष्ठानं तथा कर्ता करणं च पृथग्विदं
Yes.
विविधाश्च पृथक् चेष्टा दैवं
Pancha.
चैवात्र पंचमम्.
Ha. Five factors.
There is one factor, adhishthanam, karta, karanam, pruthagvidam, the
So
various efforts that we put, but there is a
permutation.
fifth factor which is daivam. And
Yes.
this
So Daiva is fate, but Daiva is not so powerful that it is only factor. It is one of, now we'll just
it
come
is
to this. I think
it is one
one
of the
of the
factors.
five. One of, so Rajiv ji has perfectly. I was about to talk
I,
about this.
I that's what I
You
thought
probably
that you would
under.
say.
Yes, 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 ji. Perfectly said. This is what maybe Rajiv ji induced me to say this. We do not know. It can be possible also. So here, the 13th, 14th, and 15th shloka of the 18th adhyay, Krishna has told very beautifully, because throughout the Gita he talks about how perfection, yoga, karma, kaushalam, and then suddenly he says it's okay. Mistakes are also okay, because what, through mistakes only you go better and better. It is like that. Nobody becomes perfect in first stage and all of that. But if you see, he says fruits or phala are of three types: ishtam, what we like; anishtam, what we don't like; and Mishram. Is a Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, something like that. A mix of what we like and a mix of what we don't like. But 13th shloka he says very nicely, Panchetani Mahabaho Karanani Nibodhame Sankhye krutante proktani siddhaye sarva karmana, means sarva karma, all your karma can become siddha if you understand these 5 factors. The 5 factors. O Arjuna, learn from me, as I shall reveal the 5 main causes to you. I shall unveil, as per the wisdom of the ancient instruction, by which man attains in all his works a perfection. What are they? Rajivji talked about adhishthanam tatha karta karanam cha pruthak vidam vividhasya pruthak cheshta daivam chaiva atra panchamam. Daiva is fate. So a lot of time we give too much importance to fate. Ki, "Arey, what is this? I am born in this fate. This is what my graha is like this. My kundali has already told this is going to happen. That is all." Well, it's not like that. We're not ridiculing the Shastra. Jyotish Shastra is a Shastra. But there are so many permutations and combinations. Otherwise, Jyotish Shastris would only rule the world, isn't it? If they were perfect in everything, if the predictions are that, like if you see, mostly people go to study astrology not for personal sadhana, but for marriage consultation only. And some of the very famous Jyotish Shastras are those who give marriage advice. And there was one Maharashtra's very big Jyotishi. He was consulted, sought after by so many people. But his own daughter's marriage, he was not able to properly identify. Now, what is it? How is it? Well, it is not only this that this is everything. There is fate is it has a role. Fate has a definitely there is a thing, but there are so many other factors. Like Sri Aurobindo says, until the manifestation takes place, that is why beautiful aspect of life is this uncertainty. There are so many possibilities. The divine also. Look at Sri Aurobindo before he became the yogi Sri Aurobindo. Britishers tried to. Fate was trying to hang him. The Britishers got him in Alipur jail, solitary confinement for 1 year. And there, as Vijayaji says, she fights with Krishna. Well, Sri Aurobindo and Krishna's fight also. Maybe not fight, of course. The dialogue took place. It's a beautiful dialogue. If anybody reads the Uttarpara speech of Sri Aurobindo, you will see it is actually a beautiful sakshatkar of how his life has to go. And there, Krishna said, I have brought you to the jail. I have brought you here. Not for, don't think Britishers have brought you. I have brought you because there is some other work. Now, what will you do in a 6 by 9 feet prison? What great work for future of humanity you can do when there is a deathly noose hanging on top of your head. Now they are going to hang you for a crime you did not commit. Everything, no. But suddenly he says, then he got some understanding and then the direction changed. And he said everywhere he saw Krishna only. Vasudevam Sarvamiti. The actual experience which is so durlabh, which is so rare. Krishna says in the Gita, the Mahatma sa durlabha. It is very rare that with human eyes you can get the experience of the omniscience of the divine, presence of divine everywhere. He saw the divine in the grating, in the wall, in the misused bodies. He used the word misused bodies for the other. All were not freedom fighters in that prison. They were petty criminals also, but there also he got the experience. So yes, fate has a role, but fate has a role, not the role only. Means it can probably put a comma in your story. It cannot put the full stop. There are other 4 factors also. Like according to astrology, I am supposed to be away from my parents' home. 100% true now. 12 years over 13th year. But you will not believe now how beautifully everything has fallen in place. My mother calls me, I can go and give her curd also if she needs, or a little bit of coriander. How has it changed? Who has changed it? I would say Guru Krupa. For me, it is Guru Krupa. But according to fate, I'm away. Means though I'm living very close, I hardly go. People say you don't go home once. Parents are so close, but whenever they need, I'm able to go. But my work has kept me in a different place. So this aspect, fate is there, but there is free will also. Let us see 5 factors which Krishna told in the Gita to Arjuna. He says these determine the siddhi or the outcome. The 5 comprise the physical body as the base. Sharira. Shariram adhyam khalu dharma sadhanam. Idam shariram kaunteya. This is the kshetra. Understand your body first, boss. Krishna tells Arjuna. 13th adhyay. Recognize your body. No matter what. Sharira is what is taking our yatra, isn't it, of life. So we have to recognize this Sharira is also a factor which we have to become conscious of. We can understand it. This is a Kshetrajna is who? Who understands the Kshetra. So one of the Kshetras or the first Kshetra that has to be understood is the body. Sadhaks cannot ignore their body. They have to become conscious. They have to become very conscious. One young sister of mine, she got diagnosed with cancer, lung cancer, and just it was like she was told you have 4 months to live. What will you call this? Good fate, bad fate?
Bad
Horrible
fate.
fate. Horrible fate. We'll say
Horrible.
bad fate. Yes, isn't it?
Mm.
But she is not somebody who is going to say, "Acha, theek hai, ab kya hai?" That's all. Or the famous song I keep quoting, "Zindagi ne zindagi bhar gum diye." Or what is this? क्या हुआ जिंदगी ने क्या किया मेरे साथ धोखा दिया जिंदगी ने all these are known. She said no, there must be something. Let me try. She has changed the story in 1 year. She's changed the story and she's become an inspiration to so many people. How in 1 year, which was absolutely impossible. And not only that, she got a scholarship also. She went into the best college for her higher studies, MSc. After that, she's gone to, I think, Oxford, and there she's one of the very few chosen candidates who's gone on merit for her wonderful work. And all of this happens at one time only. Isn't that crazy? So yes, first is Sharira. She's become conscious of her body. There are limitations. It's not an easy fight. It's a very difficult fight when you have a disease. But there are people who are fighting that good fight also. So first, physical body as the base. The doer whose command it obeys. This is the Karta. Who is the Karta? Is it Ahankar that is the Karta? Personal ego that is the Karta. What's going to happen? Personal ego is small force. Divine ego, that is supreme powerful will. Divine will is so much. What will happen? I think in physics we all learned, isn't it? Force of 5 Newton against 500 Newton, which force will go? The greater force only. So what is this Karta? Who is the Karta? Is it the ego of the individual? Or is that the awakened consciousness of a yogi who is able to align? It's like people when they are sailing they just adjust the sails to help the wind, isn't it? Help the wind propel their journey. You adjust the sail in such a way that even the wind which may not be moving in a favorable direction, if it is kept in the right direction, that wind only can help you go ahead. Well, that is required, and for that the karta must be a conscious karta. Then comes the efforts, the karma, I think was Deeptiji talked about, the yatna, the efforts. If what type of efforts is a person taking? Sometimes people have bad fate, bad body, but suprahuman efforts. Efforts are so powerful that they transform even the body. With efforts, that is the spirit. Then the senses, the indriyas. I am doing a beautiful diet after I got the best diet from the best dietitian. Unfortunately, my indriyas are not my friends. They're taking me to ice cream parlor. They're taking me to some fast food joint every alternate day. Am I going to be successful in my whatever plan of diet if I'm having? It's not going to work out if the indriyas are taking you astray. If your indriyas are deviating you. Indriyas are so many, isn't it? We have our indriyas, their desires which are so many. Asha, Pasha, Shatir, Baddha, Moha, Jala, Samavrita. So many. 100 bonds of desires drive a person and they come from the indriyas only. And then the mind becomes attached to the indriyas, and then there is sorrow, there's depression, there is a craving, all those things happen. So here are the indriyas supporting, are the senses, what are they doing? Are they aligning with the efforts, or they are reducing the energy of your efforts? Or are they, it's like just reducing and pulling, zapping all the efforts that you're doing? Beautiful artist has done beautiful painting and then throws black paint on it. What's going to happen? It's something like that. Indriyas can do that. So the Indriyas, are you having the Sanyama? Anjaneya was called Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam. He was the winner of the Indriyas already. And that is why he is the great Sakala Siddhi. All are his. Because he has controlled the Indriyas. So Indriyas also. And finally, it is the individual's governing fate. If you see the next shloka, it says they all, they work in a permutation and combination. Like Sharira Vang Manobhir Yat Karma Prarabhate Naraha Nyayam Va Viparitam Va Panchaite Tasya Hetavaha. The five elements constitute and interact to create the governing cause by which all beings act. They chisel and mold man's development and outcome and define what his deeds of mind, body, and speech become. So, the five factors, they are working in permutation and combination. They are creating the governing cause, chiseling and molding the person, and determining what deeds of mind, speech, body, what is the outcome, means phala. It is governed by this. Rajiv ji is saying something. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I wanted to put this for a thought forward that Daivam is, I mean, when I look at how it is explained in one of the books, it is Purvakrut Shubha Shubha Karmon ke Sanskaron ka naam Daiva hai. Whatever are the actions in the past, Shubha or Ashubha, which we may have done, and the sanskaras that are formed. So
But
that is what is affecting the present, which we call as Daiva. We
But
say
even
that
our
this.
present and our sanskaras are happening in the live
Yes,
also, real
exactly.
time.
That is the most important point. Like what you mentioned about that person who was down with cancer. Okay.
Hmm.
Later on, at every moment here, we have got the four factors with us in order to
Yes, yes,
perform. And
yes,
by performing them correctly, the word that you use is free will. Okay,
yes,
we are writing the fate, our fate for the future. So that is what we have in our hands actually at this moment.
yes, yes. And this free will means there is a free will on the human side. That free will allows us, means the story, if you see the story of a very famous, they called him the mountain man. As I think everybody must
Yes,
have heard of him, isn't it?
yes, yes. You mentioned that.
Dasharath Manji. He lost his wife very early. His life was what he was a laborer, means in a village which even the government did not feel worthy of going to this place for canvassing votes, be no use. So that there was no development there, and he wanted to go to the hospital, but he could not go to the hospital, and he was he was disappointed because only one thing was good in life of that laborer. He liked his wife. Yeah, what is wrong? But God is having a bad plan, or what is he? Why is he taken away the one thing, one good thing of his life? So now we see fate is worst fate for him. Not only is he a laborer without access to higher education, in the village also he has to struggle to make everyday ends meet. And then there was that's all taken away everything. What will happen to such a person? He will say, now life is useless. I am going to become bitter. I am going to become angry. I have 100,000 reasons for being frustrated with God and with life and with everybody, with the government also, with people around me, all of this. And my entire life I can spend cursing everybody. That is the only way I can think of, would be one approach. But this person was crazier. What did he do? Said, let this not happen to anybody else. I will not allow this to happen to someone else. And he takes, what does he uses? Hand tools to break a mountain. It's a very crazy in this modern age also, even though it was not very even recent, but still long back also, but not that long back that there were no tools to break a mountain and make roads. This man spent so many years with hand tools only. People came, people went. People mocked him, people laughed at him, satya gaya, pagal hua, whatever they would have told. I don't know that, but what they told. But one thing was he broke that mountain. Today he has become immortal. He has become immortal. He is known as the mountain man, and the spirit of humanity, spirit of free will is impersonated by him, isn't it? Ki, no, I will not. Then they say you can break mountains. Swami Vivekananda has quoted beautifully. He has said that you can break mountains, you can drain oceans. Faith, faith, faith in thee, faith, faith, faith in God. Both. It's faith in yourself, faith in the divine. So this person doing something, and what happened? Loka Sangraha, betterment of the world. His act, his act of not bending completely. He says, no, I will not accept it. it reduced the journey of all the people in the village. That road got named after him afterwards, and people, it saved so much, so many people got benefited by this person who is otherwise illiterate, we can say. There's no way a road would be named after him. But yes, his karma is done. Like that, we have so many stories in India. One mother, she planted so many trees and she's just given birth to so many forests. Or Bahinabai Chaudhary, look at her. Bahinabai Chaudhary's experience is too beautiful. Every day, her entire life was about keeping food on the table for her children. But Adhyatmic aspiration was so strong. Adhyatmic aspiration was so strong that Mazi Maya Soroswati, Maza Shikavite Boli. My mother Saraswati teaches me. People must have told you, what is this lady singing something in the field she's working? But no, she says, Panduranga, Bhagavad Gita has come from the soil for me. For me, from the soil, the Bhagavad Gita has arranged. I can see wind rustling, leaves in the wind are telling coming and going of the divine. So this experience, I think there is, means what we say, I think Dr. Tanviji's question, if we were to look at it, what do you think, Dr. Tanviji, in light of this? Unchangeable and irresponsive or responsive? I'll come to Rajivji after
Yeah.
Dr. Tanviji says yes.
So, so we started with the phrase "hoil tasa hoil," that is
Oh, yes,
unchangeable. But with the
yes.
discussion, what we are concluding at is like it is responsive to human actions. It depends
The
upon
the
uh,
attitude, isn't it? Attitude
the
means even that
attitude.
Ashtakshari mantra is actually a mantra which will keep you at peace. Hoila tasa hoila. I'll keep doing my karma. I'll not become disturbed by the outer outcomes of it. Means I have done
Hmm.
brilliant. I have done brilliantly the work. Still, what has to happen will happen. I don't have to get no. I have done it, so it must happen like this only.
Yep.
Everybody must say good to me. No, they'll say I'm the biggest fool for doing the best thing I did also. But it's okay. Or I might do the most foolish thing I could have ever thought of, and people may come and say, what a brilliant thing you have done. Oh, wonderful.
Hmm.
Means,
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes, the author of Sherlock Holmes didn't like Sherlock Holmes at all. So much that he wanted to, like, he had some serious wish, of writing some different type of work. But public didn't like it at all. He got so irritated that he killed Sherlock Holmes. What happened after that? There was outcry, public outcry against the author, and his mother said, I'll not talk to you. So he had to bring her back to life. So this aspect is there. That we have the free will. The divine is responsive. He is a mitra, he is a sakha. He's there. He, she, however we address our aradhya. Beyond gender also. Rajiv ji is saying something? Yes, sir.
Well,
Yeah.
but
While
I think the trick here is to align your will, your free will with the God's will.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, Dr. Tanviji, absolutely. In physics, we have this, isn't it? Magnets become the magnetic force make a ordinary metal into a magnet, and then maybe superconductor is also possible when the right field is there. So something like that. All
Yeah.
North Pole, South Pole are scattered, but correct field of consciousness moves, all align, and then great possibilities. When it is possible in a material object, which is called jada, what about human? We are much more capable, definitely. Yes, Rajiv ji is saying something, and probably then we'll call it a day.
I
Yes, sir.
was while you were quoting these examples, I was flipping through the pages in order to confirm some things. One of that which is coming up is karta, which is mentioned in the five of them. What type of a karta it is, and a sattvic karta as defined in the Bhagavad Gita. Now that has got all these things that we are talking about. Mukta sangho nahamvadi. Okay,
Aham
somebody
Vadi.
we said that this is that. Then you gave that example of the cutting of that mountain. So the next thing is dhrutyutsaha samanvitaha. That means dhruti is one of the most important
Strong.
things which one should
Determination.
hold on to. And then
Determination is important.
the shloka, I mean the mantra which was hoil tasa hoil, siddha siddhyor nirvikaraha.
Aha.
Karta Satvika Uchyate. So all these things what we discussed are a part of this shloka which is there. which is defining. So
So Satvik many people think Satvik is not means active, or it is very, no, it is not like that. Determination, Dhruti is the strongest, because now this Dhruti is not shaking whether Siddhi or Asiddhi. That Dhruti is very firm. Means Shraddha is required, along with that Shaburi is also required.
yes,
Without it, how will
right,
you go ahead? And with you are
right.
doing both, then we don't have to worry. We don't have to worry at all.
Yes,
Krishna comes for Sudama, doesn't he? He just says, nobody needs to worry about what's going to. Yoga Kshemam Vahamyam is his promise. So when somebody keeps a promise, gives a promise, whose headache is it to uphold it?
Who's given the promise?
The one who gives the promise.
Yeah, it's not our lookout. You keep it, you don't do it. It's your dish, your wish. We are watching, we are doing our work. That is how probably.
This is
So I
also in
think,
the practical life, how we see in today's life, like
yes, ji.
especially if what comes to my mind is when we talk about free will and aligning a determination as being called a sattvic or like is
Yes,
like when we see those players who are playing in the Paralympics, right? They, I feel very strongly in today's world, if that's the one example that comes to mind, that that's a determination. It's not that okay, yeah, whatever, oh, this is my fate now, this is my destiny now. And
Mm.
even people who are organizing these events, they are also like they feel that yes, we the others can perform. Let us bring them together and not make them feel different, and then that gives them that motivation. So I guess like if we join the dots, it's the fate, the free will and the destiny. Finally, it results in something which is very pure and true, in the sense that we can experience that feeling of the divine.
yes, ji, yes, ji, absolutely, Diti. So I think we'll somewhere when we want to conclude, we can say, chalo, we are not so alone. We're not having an unresponsive divine. The divine response, probably we have to take the experience. कौन कहते हैं भगवान खाते नहीं, कौन कहते हैं भगवान नाचते नहीं. We need somebody. We need somebody to do it that way. We need Maya Yashoda, we need Radha, we need different what we can say, Tapobala must rise. That's all. If we look at it with one what Manisha ji talked about. So we have to rise in consciousness with our Tapobala. When we rise that, when we rise, probably we will become player and not played. We are not ping pong ball in Prakriti's hands. We are the one having the bat in our hands only. Something like that.
Nice.
So, yes, so I think with this we'll conclude with the Shanti Mantra. For next week, I will also ask Damleji if I can get some story from him. If he and we will have a topic also, which probably the story only gives a, we can learn from that only the lesson. Like today, I think Dr. Tanviji picked up Hoila Tasa Hoila, and then Rajiv ji gave a beautiful conclusion from the Gita also. Siddhayo, Siddhayo, both Siddhi or Asiddhi. Why are we worried? So absolutely, thank you so much. It was a beautiful experience. Looking forward. Damleji always says, "Aaj ke Anand ki jai." So yes, "Aaj ke Anand ki jai." Let us Hari Om. So we'll conclude with the Shanti mantra. Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramaya. सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. हरि ओम तत्सत्. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna. Looking forward to next Saturday. Hari Om. Hare
Hari
Krishna.
Om.
Hari
Hare
Om.
Krishna.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hare Krishna. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hare Krishna.